Hola Unconventionals, I'm Amelia.
And I'm JP.
And we're sharing our unconventional life with you from Ecuador.
And we've been getting a lot of comments recently, especially from our new Ecuadorian viewers, about some of the mistakes that we've made in our videos. So today we're going to talk about all the things that we got wrong about Ecuador.
And EXcetera. Before we share all the things we got wrong about Ecuador, y más, if you're new to our channel or you're thinking of visiting or moving to Ecuador, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell please, because we show what it's really like to live in Ecuador.
We also want to let you know that we just published our weekly blog post over on liveabroadnow.com. It's all about money and banking in Ecuador. So if you're wondering about how to get your money here and spend it once you are here, I answer all those questions for you. So I'll put a link to that in the description below. Go check that out and be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter, which I will be sending out tomorrow, every Friday.
All right, and now for all the things we got wrong about Ecuador, at least according to our viewers, the first thing we want to talk about is the winter-summer debate.
Yes, according to our Ecuadorian viewers, we have it backwards. So in Ecuador, they define the winter season as the wet season and the dry season as summer. So winter is from December through May. It's wetter then, it rains a lot more then, but it's mostly rains at night, and you get bigger rainstorms, but it's also a lot sunnier during those months, and it's very warm. It's a lot warmer, and we're able to swim and enjoy the ocean during what they call winter. What they call summer, the summer dry season, is actually cloudy all the time. We call it the dark days, and it doesn't rain very much, but it's misty, at least here in Alone.
Right.
Ecuador is full of different microclimates, so you're going to have different weather depending on where you are. But for the most part, that's the debate that we've been getting is all of our Ecuadorian viewers telling us that we have the seasons backwards, but it's really hard for us to adjust our mindset.
It really is. So basically, they just follow the exact same seasons as we do in North America. So I'm just going to call this the high season and the low season.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, when it's hot and sunny, that is the high season because that's what they call it here on the coast. And the low season is what we like to call the dark days.
Yeah, and so I may call it the hot and the cold season. So if you hear hot and cold or sunny and dark, you'll know what we're talking about. We just want to minimize the confusion because if we're telling people to come here during the winter, or if you want to come here during the summer and they show up and expecting it to be hot and beach weather, they're going to be very disappointed when it's 70 degrees and cloudy and misty.
Right.
So that's basically the best time of year to come weather-wise is really December through May. The next thing our Ecuadorian viewers tell us we get wrong about Ecuador is that there is a postal service in Ecuador. It's called Correo del Ecuador. However, it's not like what we're used to, and that's what we mean when we say there's no mail service here. Is there's no 6-day-a-week door-to-door delivery. And the mail service, from what we can tell, mainly only works in the major cities. So if we living in a rural community, if we wanted to get mail, we would have to drive to a city to get it.
There was a post office in Cuenca. I did hear that it closed during the pandemic. I don't know if it is reopened or not. And I know that they did have P.O. boxes for rent there. So I guess you could get your mail there. We just don't know anyone that's actually received mail. So I would love to hear from our viewers how you guys are getting your mail.
Yeah, other than DHL. We do know people who've had stuff delivered to DHL. But then you go to the DHL office and pick it up. And the nearest one to us is in La Libertad. And there's, they're in the major cities, but not here.
And it's been our experience when we were living in our house in Cuenca, and we did have an exact address, but the couriers came and brought the landlord's mail, and they just kind of tossed it through the gate.
Yeah, in Cuenca we did have an exact address with a street number, but here in Alone we don't. The white building in our neighborhood, that's our address. So there is no house numbers as far as we know, anywhere in Alone in most of these rural towns.
Our Latin American viewers comment that we're all American, and that is true. We are from North America, and obviously people from South America are also American.
But everybody around the world refers to us as American because we're from the United States of America, and there's no word in English that is like estadounidense, which is Spanish for American. And so we'll continue to refer to ourselves as Americans so people know who we're talking about around the world, because everyone around the world calls us Americans.
Right.
It'd be nice if there was an English word like estadounidense, but there's not.
No, but we are starting to say U.S. Americans.
Yeah. When I type things out in the comments, I'll put U.S. Americans or U.S. Americans. but that just doesn't roll off the tongue in our videos, so we probably won't change that when we're speaking.
We got a lot of comments about our rental tour video that the properties we showed were way out of line, that they're way too expensive.
Yeah, I'll put a link above Amelia's head in case you missed that video. Just keep in mind that all prices are negotiable here, and people ask for more than they expect to get, knowing that the price is going to get negotiated. These houses or condos that we showed are also really nice. They're granite countertops, stainless appliances, fully furnished, all furniture, linens, kitchenware, everything. So they're move-in ready. They're right on the beach or close by to the beach, 24/7 security. I mean, these are nice places. Comparable places in the U.S. would probably be double or triple that. This is also a tourist town, so they charge more.
Right, exactly. However, we did do another video that showed some lower priced properties that are for rent here that are still very nice. And definitely if you go to places like Cuenca, it's a lot cheaper. However, when we looked at properties in Salinas, it was even more expensive. So you do have to take in mind that location plays a part in the price.
We also occasionally get complaints about the music in our videos. My music choice, the volume of the music. So the volume, I'm not exactly sure what goes on with that because I use Adobe Premiere Pro to sync the volume, and it says it's where it's supposed to be, and then I upload it to YouTube and it's louder, and I'm not sure why that is.
That's pretty frustrating. So we understand when you guys tell us that, because we're just as surprised as you are, because we listen to it and we're like, oh yeah, it's nice and low.
Yeah, I know. So we try to do that. And then as far as using Ecuadorian music, we have to use royalty-free music, and I'm not exactly sure what you even mean by Ecuadorian music. Do you mean Latin music? Because Ecuadorian music would be like Andean pan flute music, I guess. But they just pretty much listen. If you get into a cab here, you're going to hear salsa, bachata, or North American music, music from the United States. You're going to hear pop music, sometimes even country music we've heard in cabs. But as far as music in Ecuador, there is no like real genre of Ecuadorian music. It's pretty much just Latin music.
Exactly.
So I guess I will try to find more Latin music going forward. But there isn't really Ecuadorian music that I have access to royalty free.
Some of you are telling us we dress like tourists and that the JP's Hawaiian shirts really stand out.
Yeah, again though, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by the people tell me I should dress more like a local. So do you mean like the indigenous people? I would look ridiculous in indigenous clothing. As
Yes,
far
you
as
would.
what the locals wear, I'm going to show you some video of what the locals wear, and they dress like we do. So I'm not exactly sure. I wear my Hawaiian shirts just like a lot of the Ecuadorians do. We bought this shirt right here. We bought this in Montanita. It's made by local families that live here, and we see Ecuadorians wearing shirts like this.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we just wear shorts and t-shirts, which is pretty much what everybody wears. We are in a beach town. But in Guayaquil, they dress nicer.
Yeah, they wear nicer. I got this in Cuenca. So Cuenca and Guayaquil, people dress nicer. There's more professional people going to work. I mean, a lot of jeans. We see a lot of jeans and women wearing high heel shoes, which I am not going to wear. And I don't care if I look like a tourist because I don't want to hurt myself. Or nice gym shoes. I don't know, it's kind of all over the place.
And I've even saw a guy in Cuenca, an older Ecuadorian gentleman, wearing a gray fedora just like the one I like to wear.
I will say, when we first arrived in Cuenca, people told us that they could tell the gringos because they were all wearing their hiking pants, like their cargo pants, and hiking boots. So if you're walking around town dressed like that in your hiking clothes, yeah, you're going to look like a tourist.
There isn't really an Ecuadorian style of clothes other than the indigenous people, and I couldn't pull that off. Maybe the reason why I look like a tourist is because I'm a head taller than most people, and I'm really white and bald. I don't think it matters how I dress. I'm going to stand out. We also get a lot of comments about our fake smiles, and stop with the fake smiles.
Yeah, this one cracks me up because this baby is real.
We laugh a lot. We love life. We're having a good time. And we enjoy filming. We're always happiest when we're filming our videos, so that's when the smiles come out more. Can we do a fake smile?
Or, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know how to do a fake smile.
I don't either.
It is the smile is our smile.
In our video, the real reasons why we left the United States, I said EXcetera instead of ETcetera. Seize the day, etc., etc. And to that, I have to say thank you for pointing that out, because for all these years, I never realized I was saying it wrong, which is weird because I know how to spell it. I know it's with a T and not an X.
Yeah, it's one of the frustrating things about publishing our videos is once they're live, I can't edit them.
Yep.
So after the 12th comment about us mispronouncing a word or having something wrong, I just wish I could go edit the video and fix it so that you guys cannot have to feel compelled to comment on it anymore. But unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. So we still get corrected on videos that we published 2 years ago.
Yeah, so sorry, you guys. Unfortunately, you will have to hear me say EXcetera.
You almost said it wrong
incorrectly,
again.
I know. I caught myself the other day. So again, thank you.
Remember when I used to call Amelia's hair the mop? Well, it went from the mop to the broom.
Oh my gosh.
And now it's
sure
gray.
did.
We get a lot of comments on our videos about Amelia's hair. Some people think she should go back to being blonde. They think her gray makes her look old. And other people like her natural hair. What do you think, Amelia?
I love my natural hair, and I'll tell you the reason why I started cutting it and letting the natural hair color grow out is because it was completely fried. And when we went to India and they straightened it, I became broomhead. It was horrible, and I had to come home and get all that cut off. It turned this really weird, like orangey reddish, like burnt color. It was terrible. But now, after getting all of that cut off multiple times and having super short hair, my hair is nice and healthy, and there is no way I am putting any dye back in it.
Thank goodness. It was 2 years ago that we started that process when she got her hair cut and started the transition process. It took me a long time to convince her to stop putting all those chemicals in her hair.
It did, and he was right. It's so much healthier now, and you know, if some people think I look older, well, whatever, I am older. It's just the way it is.
You look great, Amelia.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I like it.
Muy hermosa.
Oh, well, muchas gracias.
All right, the next one is your tattoo. We've had people call your tattoo a tramp stamp, Amelia. How does that make you feel?
Well, I think it's funny because that's not the correct terminology. As far as I know, a tramp stamp is in your lower back. But if you want to call me a tramp and I'm 52, I'll take it.
We actually did a video about her tattoo, and several of you have also asked what the meaning of it is. So she got the hummingbird because I've always called her my hummingbird because she flits around the house and she doesn't sit still for very long.
But also to me, it's a symbol of freedom and happiness and joy. So it meant a lot to me to get that tattoo, and it's the only one I have. I waited a very, very long time because I wanted to be damn well sure I was going to like it, since it will be on my body the rest of my life.
Yep. And it was 50, right? You were 50?
I was 50 when I got it.
She was 50 when she got it. We had a video showing that.
Yeah.
I'll put a link up there in case you want to go watch
Yeah,
it. It was one of our
video.
It's one of our first videos. Not the best video, but you get to see a tattoo in progress.
It's funny when I watch that video, JP, I can tell I'm a little manic at the end because it was 2 hours and it did hurt.
On our real reasons why we left the United States video, we also get a lot of comments, and still do, that we're commies, communists, traitors, good riddance, don't come back, really mean comments. And to be honest, we probably would not have left the United States if it wasn't for healthcare and my health issues. So we didn't leave the United States because we don't like it or didn't want to be American anymore.
Right.
We left because we just couldn't afford it. We're basically healthcare refugees. We're afraid that if I had another health issue that we would be bankrupt, and we just decided life is too short to live in fear of that.
Well, and also, speaking of life is too short, we didn't want to wait to experience more of the world. You know, JP and I both had dreams of experiencing other cultures and living in another country, and that has nothing to do with living in America. It's just wanting to explore and expand our horizons.
Yeah, we're very thankful that we grew up in America. We are still citizens and plan on keeping our citizenship.
Yes.
And we still pay our taxes, and we paid all of my medical bills. So people, just let go of that one.
Let it go.
Let it go.
We've had people comment about getting our iPhone fixed locally, and the reason we did not do that is because it is a warranty issue. It's a known issue with that phone, and we just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I took it to the authorized Apple Repair Center, the Thanks store in Mal del Sol, because that's where Apple Care, the Apple support, sent me and said that they should be able to fix the camera on that phone, but they couldn't. They showed me model numbers. They said we don't have the right camera to fix this phone. whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I don't want to go pay $200 or $300 or more to have that camera fixed in that phone when it's a known issue and it would be done for free if we were in the States. So thanks for all of your recommendations, but we're just going to leave it broken.
Yep, it's working. The rest of the phone works great, and we use it for other things, so it's not a big deal.
The last complaint that we often get is about us using Patreon. We're called e-beggars, selfish, greedy. I mean, you name it. People don't, for some reason, don't like that and don't think we should earn any money from doing these videos, which is my full-time job now. I work more than 40 hours a week on this, especially with our new website. Writing blog posts, newsletters, answering comments. We get hundreds of comments a week now, probably over 1,000 a week. I spend hours a day just responding to messages, private messages, and public comments. So, we use Patreon. It helps us fund me doing this. Otherwise, I would be building websites instead of publishing videos.
Exactly. And it's an additional service. So we still do our regular Thursday video every week for everybody, and that is, obviously, it's free. So the Patreon is an extra membership website is the way we look at it, or membership service, I should say.
Yeah, you just get additional content that isn't required. You don't have to do it. We're still publishing our free videos just like we did before. We just give our patrons a little bit more in the form of like a Q&A video that we do every month. We also have an insider video. We do a Zoom call with face-to-face, and there's different tiers over there, so you can choose something that resonates with you, but you don't have to do it. You can still just watch our free videos, and we have no intention of stopping those.
Exactly.
All right, Amelia, I think that is it. Oh, I should mention that if you're interested in joining us on Patreon, our growing community, we have over 260 members right now. I'll put a link to that in the description so you can go check that out. And now I really do think that's it.
All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. We had fun laughing along and admitting our mistakes. And sharing some of the comments, etc. Yes, I did it.
All right, guys, we hope you have an unconventional day. We'll see you all in our next video.
Ciao.
Ciao.